Dear friend, I was going to be late for school. I was, but far less than the digital map said. Dad was driving me, and I mentioned we should probably call the school, seeing as the map said we'd be 10 minutes late. He said we didn't need to until we were sure we'd be very late. He said he'd rather me call them if I needed to. I laughed it off, but I knew then and now that it was the anxiety of mine running around my brain, and refusing to cease for just but a second. On the way to school, I was watching someone complete staff ghosts for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. He did not care for tiny things perceived to be errors. So different from I might do the same, for I can only try. Though I also don't want to force myself to be who that content creator is. Everyone is different, though that might just be an excuse for not to change. Game design was the first class of the day. I wrote my first line of code. Hello world of mine. I hope you're doing well. Code is very, almost too precise with itself. I do like the saving constants, as it forces me to know if the code I want is truly what I want to be there, which it most likely will be. Who knows? I don't think you have too much experience with coding. English class was spent reading more of the perks of being a wallflower, just one letter. But I was also assigned to write a poem based on yesterday along with my traditional summary I usually do. I did alright, I'd say. I like all the rhymes. Only at the grave. I then began to cry countless times. I've read The Catcher and the Rhino. No. Not the reason for this, just a little death that caused this great abyss. Today, like many, I was at her grave of all those times with her. I then began to save, and like so many, I tend to not exist, and like so many, she'll be dearly missed. It's what I have so far, and I still do have some of Charlie's feelings to express, but I feel he's very complex as the rest of us are. What else could you add from the 12/30 letter? Maybe the driver's license. No, that's too simple for the way he thinks. I had an extra criminology class for the purposes of accelerating my classes. They all have a set amount of sessions, and one of those accelerations landed today, so I can be done with grade 12 by 6/12. The class itself was about rebellion, what happens when the American dream is believed to be unachievable by certain individuals. I feel like all reactions come from the control of illusion. I learned that term from my therapist when I said the definition. People think they have control over what they do in their life and achieve the goal, though they have zero control at all. This applies to all, not just those who follow the American dream, and have one of the withdrawal symptoms of being out of control of what they do with their life. A little unrelated, I asked a song of which I didn't know the name. I don't know much about music artists and bands and song names. I have this app that can listen to songs in the background and tell you what they are. But not a chance I would ask to use it during class, anxiety at its finest. I asked the teacher of the song that I liked, and she told me it was Man on the Moon by REM. It reminds me of a song from this camp I've gone to for so many years now. That's enough rambling. So next class, Gothic literature. I started to work on this project where I have to synthesize Unit 1 and give my takes on what they have to say, though today was more of a design session than anything else. I don't know if it was my anxiety stepping on to do no real work on the words, but I definitely did spend the entire session on them. I am glad chess club was cancelled, not because I was anxious I'd lose. I don't particularly care for that. But because I was anxiety about getting my homework done at school so I could do it at home. I can't say no. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week at my school, and every teacher probably wanted to go or was forced into it to admit they've appreciated. The chess club advisor attended, and the other one member took that as a sign that chess club was cancelled. Though I definitely could have played a game with her. Though I did not, I was a good little boy and did my homework as was expected of me. It's not all done, but I have some time tomorrow. It was a bit exhausting to get it done. Maybe this is seniorities, I don't know, and I don't think I ever will or would want to know, to be honest. Calculus time, I understand it. Though it's always one tiny error that makes me get the answer wrong, and I don't know how to eliminate this human error phenomenon. My teacher also gave me an expo marker, as like I said earlier, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. He was given new expo markers and he gave me the choice of what I wanted to do with one before he threw them out. I chose the purple one because it's my favorite color. I plan to hold on to it forever, and hopefully, just hopefully, I don't forget this little purple expo marker's origins, as I want to remember my teachers forever. As I mentioned earlier, I discussed the illusion of control with my therapist. I showed him Life's Too Short as an example of how much people desire power. I think the song represents every human connection ever. Community levels of what you're seeing were forgettable. Though I know the whole point of life is that you never get what you want. Project work. I'm done with the main levels, as well as revision for Wednesday's project, so I'm creating the hub as a celebration of what you would have done up to this point. I'll try to make it as sad as possible to make people not want to leave. Though I know that enforcing emotion is exactly how you get its opposite. Like I said yesterday, everything exists in contrast. Mother wanted me to sign up for this meet the class thing for my college graduation year. I put Norman Bates as my profile picture. Mother calls me that because I accidentally said mother instead of mom. She said okay, Norman, and everything has stuck since. She thought it was hilarious when she saw it. Other than that, she was just filling out the forms for the surveys and everything while I just watched her be who she is as a person. I wish to see you someday. Best always, Elliot.